Hello, it's my pleasure to be your host on this episode of Culture Mosaic on VTV International. In our little journey today through various culture scenes in various places throughout Vietnam, we will learn more about the hidden charm of traditional rural markets in Vietnam's villages. Later on, Tim Vogel Downing, a creative director who elevates Vietnamese fashion. And last but not least, let's meet with artist Sasha Fisler and see how the people and landscapes of Vietnam are portrayed in her works. Hidden charm of traditional rural markets in Vietnam's northern villages. We meet with Tim Vogel Downing, creative director who elevates Vietnamese fashion. And later on, artist Sasha Fisler, and see how the people and landscapes of Vietnam are portrayed in her works. Perhaps anyone who has ever made a trip to any region of the S-shaped country Vietnam cannot forget most typical images of Vietnam's rural areas, such as earthen rivers along riverbanks, green bamboo tree clusters, rice fields reaching the horizon, especially traditional rural markets in northern villages. For hundreds of years, traditional rural markets in northern villages have not only been known as a means by which the exchange of goods and services takes place, but they have also displayed distinctive cultural features of the northern delta. And in this week's edition of Cultural Lifestyle, we will further explore what makes these rural markets live on in Vietnamese people's memory and daily life.
Rural markets in the north are held by trees, rivers, or communal houses. Sellers set up in makeshift tents or one-story tile roof houses. Unlike urban markets which open every day, rural markets are held 2 or 3 days a week.
Họp theo phiên là kiểu là phiên nay chợ này thì phiên mai lại chợ khác. Một cái điểm nếu khác hẳn với các chợ thành phố, nổi bật nhất là chợ quê họp rất sớm. Vì chợ đây nếu người ta bán buôn thì từ 2 giờ sáng đã có người.
Rural markets sell daily commodities, but these don't bring much profits. Most products are crops from local gardens like rice, corn, potatoes, fruits and vegetables, or meat like poultry and fish.
Nông sản mà tiêu ở đây nhân dân đấy tiêu thụ thì là toàn là của cây nhà, là vườn, những nhà họ chăn nuôi nhỏ lẻ. Chúng tôi bắt về, chúng tôi thịt bán.
Mặt hàng này là của tôi trồng ra để ăn. Thế tôi ăn không hết thì tôi mang ra chợ tôi bán.
Rural markets are not just for selling things, they are also where locals get the latest news about business, family, or gossip about neighbors. It's not too much to say that in a market you can find out anything.
Chợ là một nơi không chỉ là giao thương buôn bán mà lại cả về thông tin văn hóa, về xã hội. Những tin vui cũng ra đến chợ nhanh nhất và những tin buồn cũng ra đến chợ nhanh nhất. Người nọ truyền tai người kia, truyền miệng người kia. Thế mới biết rằng là cái tầm hiểu biết của con người nông dân mình cũng không phải là kém.
For many people, going to the market is just an excuse to visit their friends or have some small talk. Rural markets contain love of the people and land under the guise of a bustling atmosphere.
Mở hàng cho ông sáng sớm lấy lộc, chăm cái may, vạn cái phúc. Thế là xin cảm ơn ông.
Countryside people are sincere and honest. They don't mind if you owe them money and will even give away produce for free.
Chợ quê bán hàng nó thoải mái, nó thật thà hơn đi ra tỉnh, thoải mái mua gì cũng có. Ví dụ hôm nay mà đến đi chợ mà cái bà bên cạnh đây không đi thì chúng tôi có điện thoại và gọi điện hỏi thăm luôn. Tình cảm giữa con người là rất là quý hóa nhau. Đến đây thì mình có quan hệ với tất cả những người xung quanh. Đấy là cái vốn của con người Việt Nam. Người Việt Nam mình là rất sâu nặng về tình cảm.
One feature of the rural markets in the north is that most sellers are women. Markets showcase the traits of Vietnamese women. They are diligent, resourceful, and patient. Despite hard work and fatigue, sellers welcome their customers with warm greetings and smiles. Simple, sincere, and honest, these women are the hidden charms of rural markets in the peaceful north.
Chợ quê thì từ ngày xưa, từ xa xưa đến giờ là chỉ có người phụ nữ bán thôi. Người nam giới rất đi ra chợ. Người phụ nữ là đảm đang, tức là người đó là nội của một cái gia đình đó. Cơm nước gạo tiền, để đi mua sắm các thứ về để nấu cho chồng con ăn.
One with a homeland will never forget its local market. In the north, rural markets are where you find shady banyan trees, ancient communal houses, and bustling women busy with trade. Rural markets live on in the memories of Vietnamese generations. They are a thread that connects the village together. And above all, they are a symbol of the timeless traditions of the Northern Delta.
When you visit the market this time of the year, you will find some very special dishes that, if knowing what that dish is made from, some won't dare to eat. The dish is made from ragworm. Nowadays, those dishes have become the specialties that many people look for in the chilly weather of a winter day. Curious about those dishes? Let's find out more in the following.
Since long ago, Hanoi has been a crossroads of many cuisine cultures from across the country. Ragworm is among them. Although not originated from Hanoi, ragworm has been treated like one of its own delicacies for many years. Because of the exotic taste of ragworm, the people who cannot eat ragworm just dread it, but the people who can absolutely love it. This is perhaps the reason why ragworm has become a major commodity, and it's rather a luxury these days. So today I've asked Long to take me to a local destination which has been making ragworm for over 30 years now. Pretty cool, huh? And to be honest, I'm pretty excited and anxious to find out what ragworm looks like and tastes like. Ragworms are predominantly marine worms that may occasionally swim upstream to rivers and even climb to land. This restaurant is specialised in dishes such as fried ragworm pancakes, ragworm spring rolls and stir-fried ragworm with vegetables. Fried ragworm pancakes and ragworm spring rolls are the two top choices. This has become an indispensable part of Hanoian cuisine culture every September and October. Spring rolls are an iconic dish of Vietnamese tradition. They are commonly known with filling of meat, shrimp or snail. As ragworm arrived in Hanoi, Hanoians created ragworm spring rolls, a perfect combination.
Ở Hà Nội thì có cái món nem cua bể rồi là nem nói chung, nem rán. Nhưng mà ở đây cái thành phần thịt thì họ lại cho con dươi vào trong. Cho nên ăn nó có một cái vị đặc biệt, vị là vị nem dươi. Nên tôi nghĩ là Hà Nội là cái nơi không có dươi. Họ học, họ mang thức ăn ấy ở ngoài vào. Đầu tiên họ nấu theo kiểu của một cái vùng có dươi, nhưng sau đó vì sống trong cái môi trường Hà Nội họ sáng tạo ra và họ tạo ra những món ăn thực đơn mới mà có lẽ tôi nghĩ là hiện nay thì có lẽ nó gần như nó gắn với cái kiểu ăn của người Hà Nội. Chào à.
Dạ vâng ạ, chào bác ạ.
Cô ạ. Thì cái điều gì ở cái món dươi này mà làm cho người Hà Nội mặc dù là không có dươi ở địa phương nhưng họ lại rất là thích ăn như thế ạ?
Phải ăn rồi mới biết được. Ví dụ tôi có dẫn các khách nước ngoài đi, họ không biết cái gì. Họ nhìn thấy con dươi họ sợ quá. Trông nó có cái con giun mà nhiều tơ như thế, trông quọng quậy. Họ rất sợ. Thế nhưng mà sau khi mình giải thích và đây là một món ăn rất là Việt Nam. Mà nếu bạn đến Việt Nam bạn muốn hiểu các cái món ăn, các phong tục, bạn thử ăn đi, bạn sẽ cảm thấy nó thú vị như thế nào. Thì có những người tưởng là họ có thế nhưng họ cũng rất vui lòng chia sẻ một cái món ăn của Hà Nội.
I only see a worm and I think I don't want to eat. Now it's okay. Because I wanted to explore it, I want to see new things and want to eat new things. The taste is very nice. I would explain it to my friends and they will say, oh no, how can you try this? Never I would try this. But it's cooked, so it's okay. It's no possibility to try it somewhere else. It's great with these herbs inside and this a little bit of fresh taste.
Món dươi ở Hà Nội nó có những đặc biệt của nó. Ví dụ như bà chủ hàng đây là người đã mấy chục năm nay làm nghề bán các sản phẩm dươi. Thế thì cái cách nấu, cái cách làm nem dươi của bà chủ đây cũng khác. Ví dụ người Hà Nội thì dùng thìa là và vỏ quýt cho vào trong cái thành phần lá trứng để rán cái chả dươi. Nhưng mà ta đi xuống Hải Dương ấy, thì người Hải Dương lại dùng lá gấc rồi lá lốt, thì đấy là một cái thay đổi, một cái kiểu một khẩu vị mới. Thế nhưng mà đặc biệt bà chủ đây là có cho bí mật cho tôi biết là rán cái chả dươi bằng mỡ gà. Mỡ gà nó có một cái vị thơm đặc biệt. Cho nên là cái vị ăn chả dươi đây người ta sẽ cảm thấy một cái gì thú vị, nó khác thường.
Bác có thể tả cho cháu xem cái vị nó ra sao?
Không ai có thể nói bằng ngôn ngữ một cái món ăn. Ôi anh phải ăn anh biết được. Cho nên cái ẩm thực, cái con dươi mình chỉ bằng cái lưỡi của mình, bằng cái cảm giác của răng của mình, miệng của mình, mắt mình nhìn thấy, rồi mình hít mình thấy ngon hay không là anh cảm thấy thôi. Chứ bây giờ tôi không thể nói bằng chữ nghĩa. Xin bà chị cho đĩa chả.
Culture Mosaic is a weekly journal here on VTV International, looking to give you, our viewers, the latest scoop on the culture scene here in Vietnam. Whether it be the diversity and richness of century-old heritage or the dynamic and exciting vibe of a modern Vietnam, we hope to bring you the many faces of the cultural and artistic soul here in the country. So don't go away as we have many more news coming your way. He has worked as creative director for global brands such as Burberry, Gucci, Dior, Hermes, and Louis Vuitton. Now he is in Vietnam and is ready to help build one of the first luxury brands in Vietnamese fashion, as well as to change Vietnamese views about this industry. He is Tim Vogel, a creative director and designer from London, who is working on his first project in Vietnam, Giovanni Sartoria. We will meet with Tim Vogel in this week's edition of On the Mic to learn more about these Vietnamese luxury brands.
Arriving from Italy to Vietnam. In the past decade, Giovanni Group has changed Vietnamese views on world fashion, especially luxury fashion. At the end of 2017, Giovanni officially launched its new brand, Giovanni Sartoria. The brand marks an important milestone of the group, as well as a major step in Vietnam's high-end market. Giovanni Sartoria is expected to be completely processed in the country by Vietnamese craftsmen. And the one behind all these amazing ideas for one of the first luxury brands made in Vietnam is designer and fashion creative director Tim Vogel Downing.
First of all, thank you Tim Vogel Downing for joining our show today. So Giovanni Sartoria is considered to be one of the first Vietnamese high-end fashion. And how do you expect this will change the Vietnamese fashion scene?
We've launched Giovanni Sartoria, which is our most exclusive and most high-quality line. So I think here in Vietnam, there are not many fashion magazines around. There are not many sources, apart from maybe Fashion TV or something that you can look at to try and understand fashion a little bit better. And I think Giovanni, we can be an educational source for that, where we can help the consumer understand better and better what fashion means, so that they can start making their own choices in a much more informed way. So that rather than fashion talking to them, they can have a dialogue and they can respond to what they see rather than just have to absorb it. Right now, fashion is being pushed at the consumer. Right? But in the future, I think the consumer will have more of a two-way street with fashion. So right now, the market is transforming. And we want to be part of that transformation and help the consumer gain that confidence of being able to make their own really informed and personal choices.
What is the idea behind the first collection of Giovanni Sartora? And do you plan to include any Vietnamese features?
I think the approach here is that we have to recognize how different the climate in Vietnam is to most other regions in the world. Almost all other brands that are just imported into the market are not really appropriate for this climate. Vietnam, everybody thinks this is very cold right now in winter, but I'm still very warm. So, the products that you're getting for autumn winter from Europe or from America are always over-engineered for being even warmer than you need for the market. We design our product ranges specifically to take this market and the region and the climate into account, but we're bringing also an international level of sophistication to the product.
Giovanni Sartora is considered the highest symbol of value for Giovanni Group. It will be the first choice for politicians, executives, and leaders of top businesses. Following the announcement ceremony, Tim Downing, with more than 20 years of experience as a creative director and consultant for global brands such as Burberry, Gucci, Dior, Hermes, Mulberry, Louis Vuitton, and Chini, immediately met with his team to discuss how to create new, impressive, high-end designs for Giovanni Sartora. According to Tim, climate conditions are the first factor in ideas for the collection. Next, Vietnam's cultural symbols, such as famous landscapes, will complement the designs. The collection will be brought to the world market as a way to make Vietnamese luxury fashion stand out in the region and around the globe.
Apart from designing the products, you've also focused on designing the space to display the products. And can you share with us the idea behind this space?
In line with this new personality and a new character of the brand that we've designed, we now need to design the vehicles where people encounter the brand. The store that we've just launched here now, this new flagship store, is an expression of that new relationship. It's very different from where we were before, but it's still somehow familiar. So you, again, are on a journey, but at the same time you bring a lot of transformation. We have opened the front of it altogether so that we have created a inviting, open, warm atmosphere for the store. And the nuances of the colors that we're using is completely different to anything else in the region.
So you've collaborated with big global brands such as Gucci, Dior, Hermes. So what is your view on the potential of Vietnamese fashion compared to the world and in the region?
Vietnam is quite different from some of the other countries I've worked in. I've worked in Japan for over 20 years. That has a very mature and developed media landscape. In Vietnam, for example, the exposure of the customer to fashion has been very small. You don't have a great number of fashion magazines. You don't have a lot of sources where you can learn or gain confidence in how to wear things and what to wear, which brands to buy, etc. So, for example, for menswear, in Vietnam there may be 3 magazines. Right? In Japan, I can find 20 magazines just about shirts. and probably 500 about menswear. Here in Vietnam, both for men and women, those choices are something that you're only just learning about. So that means that the consumer is very hesitant about new things coming into the market. We have big brands coming in right now, like Zara and H&M, that are going to spend very, very large amounts of money in marketing to create a new level of understanding of what fashion could be and how much fun you can have with it. I think rather than the media landscape, is going to help transform the Vietnamese market over the next couple of years, where the consumer will become more sophisticated and will become more self-assured in making choices. They will become bolder in making more colorful choices. So for us, that means that we're going through a very exciting time. In order for us to be meaningful to the consumer in future, we need to understand these changes very well.
Fashion shows hosted in Vietnamese, diverse styles of local youth in the street, foreign brand in the domestic market, are all proof of a growing fashion scene in the country. However, to affirm Vietnam's position worldwide requires much more time and effort. And Giovanni Sartoria is among those taking the very first steps in shaping the future of Vietnamese fashion.
What are some of the difficulties working in Vietnamese fashion?
Vietnam is probably, let's say, the youngest market that is transforming the quickest as well. But being the youngest market means that companies like Giovanni are doing everything the first time. If you're working with a luxury brand in Europe or in America, that brand tends to have been there for at least 100 years. This brings with it two things. One is that passion and the purity of the brand is fantastic, because it's very real. It's not something that's been passed down for generations, because you encounter everything the first time. And that means there's no routine established, and we have to design processes here that are appropriate for not just the market, but also for the way that Vietnamese people work. So, and that means that you have to very carefully design every single step of that journey in order to stay connected to the consumer so they can follow you on the journey, on the story that you're telling, but at the same time you need to surprise them with something new.
Again, thank you team so much for joining our show, and we wish you the best of luck in your future projects working with Vietnamese fashion.
It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
In previous editions of Culture Mosaic, we introduced many unique ways that foreigners express their love for Vietnam, such as making films, taking photos, or composing music. In Nha Trang, there is a Russian artist who fell in love with this beach town from her very first visit. Since then, the beauty of not only Nha Trang but also Vietnam has inspired her paintings. And in this week's Connecting Cultures, let's meet with artist Sasha Fischler and see how the people and landscapes of the country are portrayed in her works.
6 a.m. on Nha Trang Beach. The sun rises for another day. This peaceful scene of everyday life is an inspiration for young artist Sasha Fischler. At 6 years old, she became a painter and has had exhibitions in Russia, Australia, and the US. But Sasha chose to live and work in Nha Trang after spending her holiday here.
Nha Trang looks so like my hometown, and here is beautiful sea, beautiful mountains, and climate same like I have it in my hometown in summertime. I just started to paint because everything inspired me, and it looks so unusual for me, especially because of the people, because it's different. Asian people very different, especially Asian girls. I think that Asian girls have very beautiful eyes, very beautiful lips. I really like Asian style of beauty.
Sasha's paintings center around topics of daily life and landscapes in Vietnam. A girl on a buffalo in a green field, a boy being carried in a brocade scarf, Hội An ancient town or Hoàn Kiếm Lake. Places throughout the country appear in her works, though many of which she has yet to visit.
I travel to Dalat, to Ho Chi Minh City, but other places I imagine I have some pictures. I have some pictures from my friend, and some of them I found in internet, so I'm using them, and I have a visualization to wish to go to these places. And about the people on my pictures, it's sometimes I just met people on the market, on somewhere on the street, I make pictures again, and this is just like people whom I met.
In 2017, Sasha hosted a painting workshop in her home country, Russia. Here she chose the lotus, a symbol of divine beauty, to introduce to her students.
The lotus, Vietnam's national flower, is a muse for Sasha in many paintings. And now more international friends are amazed by the beauty of Vietnamese culture. In addition to painting, Sasha likes to share her passion for art with the people around her. Every week, she holds a painting class for both foreigners and locals in Nha Trang.
I think very nice that she gave us the possibility to decide what we want to draw, and she's telling us a lot of information about famous painters. So it's interesting, and I can develop myself. Right now, we're spending a lot of time in offices, near our computers, and it's quite interesting to spend time by painting. It's more for soul.
Sasha's work can be seen in many places around the city. In a Western restaurant, at an exhibition on realism, or in a local art space. But no matter which style she follows, her painting shows beautiful images of Vietnam, filled with gentle and welcoming people.
And that's the end of our program. If you would like to provide feedback or comment on anything here on Culture Mosaic, please feel free to write us at vtvinternational@vtv.vn and make sure to include your name and address. You can also log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go for more of our program. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode of Culture Mosaic. Goodbye for now.